Om. 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 Sairam, everyone. We just completed the first chapter of Sathya Sai Vahini. Swami started out talking about the supreme goal of the Bharatiyas, and Swami spoke about various aspects of that supreme goal. Last week we discussed about the faith of the Bharatiyas, the Shraddha. Swami says that the Bharatiyas are intent on attaining that experience of their belief, and that's what drives them, and that's the goal, and that's the striving of the Bharatiyas. That's what we discussed. We discussed various aspects of that process, and many of the statements Swami gave about the Vedas, the Shastras, and the experience of great Siddha Purushas, and so on. That was where we were. I think we are starting the second chapter today, and so I will ask Sister Kalyani to read. Saira.
From truth to truth, questions may be asked and doubts expressed by many about the state of a person after he has attained fulfillment, the fullness of awareness. His life will be saturated with unexcelled ananda, divine bliss, and he will experience oneness of thought, emotion, and knowledge with all. He will be in ecstasy, immersed in the one and only, the eternal divine principle, for that alone can confer joy during the process of living. Genuine joy is this and no other. God is the embodiment of eternal, ever-full joy. Those loyal to Bharatiya culture, whatever the sect or faith which they claim as their special mold, accept this axiom that God is the highest source of joy. This mata conclusion they accept as abhimata, dearest and most pleasurable.
Okay, thank you, Kalyani. Auntie, we can read.
Saira. సత్యము నుండి సత్యమునకు
From truth to truth.
పరిపూర్ణతను సాధించిన తరువాత
After attaining the fulfillment or fullness,
మానవుని విషయమేం అగును
what will happen to man?
అని అనేక మంది ప్రశ్నించవచ్చు లేక సందేహించవచ్చు.
Thus many may ask, or many may doubt.
అతని జీవితము పరిపూర్ణమునందిన తర్వాత
His life after attaining that fulfillment,
నిరతిశయానంద పరిపూర్ణమై విరాజిల్లును.
it will be shining with supreme bliss
అండ్ ఫుల్ఫిల్మెంట్.
and fulfillment. Yes.
ఏకత్వమునందును జీవితమునకు సుఖప్రదం ఉండుదగు.
In the oneness, జీవితముకు సుఖప్రదముగా నుండదగు.
సుఖప్రదముగా నుండదగు ఏకైక పదార్థముగు
So many adjectives, Auntie.
I think so many. We have to go one, I think word by word I'll go. ఏకత్వమునందును.
So I think Auntie, you read the full sentence, then we will
ఏకత్వమునందును జీవితమునకు.
In the oneness.
Hello?
In life.
Arun, you are frozen. Arun, you are frozen. Oh, sorry. ఏకత్వమునందును
in oneness
జీవితమునకు
for life,
సుఖప్రదముగా
what gives joy,
నుండుదగు ఏకైక పదార్థముగు
which exists, the one object which exists,
భగవంతుని అనంతత్వమును అనుభవించును.
Anantatvam, the endless, so infinite divinity is experienced
by such a person. నిజ సుఖము అదియే.
The real joy or happiness is that.
భగవంతుడే శాశ్వత సుఖ స్వరూపుడు.
God alone is the permanent, who has the form of the permanent happiness.
భారతీయులందరూ అనగా
Bharatiyas mean
వివిధ శాఖల వారందరూ,
whether they belong to various branches,
ఈ సిద్ధాంతమునే పాటింతురు.
this principle or this philosophy is the one which they accept.
ఈ మతమునే అభిమతముగా గైకొందురు.
They accept this as the most pleasing or joy-giving religion or faith or thought.
I think she stopped there.
Yes, Auntie. So Swami is addressing the question about someone who has attained fulfillment, who has realized oneness with the divine. What is the state of that person? I think that's what Swami is covering here. So I will stop here. We can discuss what Swami has said.
What is the word Shayananda?
అతిశయానంద, నిరతిశయానంద.
Ananda is bliss, and what is the
నిరతిశయ?
Never diminishing.
Oh.
My understanding.
Yeah, నిరతిశయ.
Nir-atishaya. So it does, if you want example.
Supreme, Atishaya is supreme. Can we take that?
Auntie, Niratishaya,
Ananda.
Unsurpassed, perfect, nothing else can take over that. It will, nothing else can overtake that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Atishaya, Niratishaya. There is nothing else which can overtake that.
No, nothing can surpass it. So that means it will be always at the highest, the supreme.
Supreme.
See, generally, your happiness, when it's overtaken by some other happiness which you don't have, then you'll drop what you have and run after that. In this world, we are never satisfied. We seek something, we get it, and then we see something else and say, oh, that seems to be better than this. Then we'll give this up and go after that. But so in our mind, it has suddenly diminished because something else has taken over. So what the divine one is, it will never be in that state because nothing can overtake, nothing can surpass it. So it's the ability for it to grant eternal joy never diminishes. Okay, so
the next line, Ekatvam munandunu jivitamunaku. So is that for the life that is in oneness or something?
సుఖప్రదముగా నుండదగు.
ఏకత్వమునందును జీవితమునకు.
If life has to be one of eternal joy, that's the only thing is Bhagavanturi Anantatvamu. జీవితమునకు సుఖప్రదముగు ఉండదుగు.
I can present in state of creation.
భగవంతుని అనంతత్వము ఏకైక పదార్థము. He will experience that, అనుభవించును.
Yeah, so he will be, his entire life will be in that oneness, immersed in that one and only. I think that's the way translation is also talking.
Yeah.
He'll be in ecstasy, immersed in the one and only. That's ekaika padarthamagu. Eternal. For that alone can confer joy during the process of living. So, ekatvamu nandunu. Ekatvam.
ఏకత్వమునందును జీవితం. The one who life immersed in ekatva, oneness.
Yeah.
He will experience oneness of thought, emotion, and knowledge. That it's not in Telugu.
Auntie?
He will experience oneness of thought, emotion, and knowledge with all. It's not there in Telugu translation.
Yes. Yeah, I think there are some pieces which are in Telugu. It's English translation. Yeah.
And also, I was wondering, what is that padardham? Why he referred padardham there?
ఏకైక పదార్థమగు భగవంతుని అనంత తత్వం.
Yeah, padardham is item, right? Some item. And why he was referring to that? I'm just curious.
See, the pada is the word. Padartham is the meaning of that.
Oh,
generally, everything in this world, if you say a word apple is a word. What is the padartham? The object which is pointed by that word. The object which is pointed by that word is padartham. Padartham can be two meanings. The goal of the pada, the goal of the pada, meaning of the padam is the padartham. So in common parlance, we have started using everything as padartham because every object is. But the thing is here, that way also, ekaika means the one and only padartham, the only substance. Because vastu also is another word which is used in Vedic parlance. It's a substance, a thing. But it's the meaning of that word. The padartham of the word, when we say ekam, what is that substance which it is pointing?
End result.
That object. I think that is Bhagavan. God is the object of that word. The meaning of that word is God.
Yeah.
Like if a mantra is stated, the mantra swarupa is the padartham of that mantra. Meaning of the mantra is the form. So that kind of a meaning.
Padartham should not be taken as an object of our
something which we look at the world. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Generally, we use padartham for the objects which we see.
Wood, something like that. That's why I was questioning why. Well, now I got it. It's like end result of something.
Yes, it is a fulfillment of that word also.
Yeah. So in this case, I think Swami is in Telugu. Accordingly, he was saying, if you start when one experiences divinity everywhere, that is the end result.
That padartham. That is you experience the padartham.
That's you got it. That's it.
Yes, Brother Dasan.
Sairam, brother, add to the point, the person who fulfillment will experience only oneness.
Yes.
Everywhere, and others they experience with the object, the prakriti, which is not permanent. So oneness person will experience everywhere only same Atma kind of thing he will experience and he can enjoy the bliss. Thank you, Brother Saira.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Anyway, Swami has also told the Nijas Sukhamu Adiye, that it's the permanent happiness. And only Bhagavan today, only the Lord has the form of permanent happiness. So that would say yes, sir.
Brother, in day-to-day life, how do you feel that you had to experience that, right? When you have other joys also, you will, I think you will look for the, you know, which one is like, I think the life has to give that experience to get that permanent bliss. I think even though I'm thinking in day-to-day life, how people will feel that, right? So how they compare and understand where you are having that fun or pleasure with something, and how you will feel that is not permanent kind of. I'm just thinking to myself, in your life, whatever you may be experiencing it, if you try to feel that is not temporary or that you don't like it, I think you are looking for something more. Then I think that is, or if you connect to the Lord and feel like that, then I think you are feeling the oneness kind of. Now, any enjoyment in the world, you are not be happy or you don't content. That's where I think you may be seeing the Lord, maybe. Is that right?
Okay, Sister Aruna has asked a question. How do we experience the permanent happiness in the world? Number one. Number two, how can we get to that point? And what do we do with the pleasures which we get in this world? How do we classify them? I think that's a question.
Yes.
Okay.
So
This Mani Auntie has raised her hand. Please, Auntie, go ahead.
Actually, it is, Swami is talking about a person who is a realized Atma, who is a realized soul, who has completely realized that self in him. And such a person can experience this unexcelled Ananda always. He will be in that oneness, always be with that oneness, and he will experience happiness and ecstasy for such a person. But we have not reached that stage. We have not yet reached that stage where we know we have our own dislikes and likes, and we're still living in this world, mundane world. We have our own thoughts, emotions. So if we go beyond this and then realize that we are one with the self, then we can experience that joy. Saira.
Oh, thank you, Auntie. But I'm still thinking you are, you like and dislike in the world is something, but beyond that, you may seeing that is not the one you are looking for, and you will move on with something.
So
I think that's how I am thinking. I don't know how I'm thinking. So I'm just thought of understanding more about it. Okay, wherever you go, sometimes you are not enjoying yourself or you don't see the pleasure there. So you will try to move on. Is that the way you will feel it? Or I'm trying to understand from others too. Thank you.
thank you. So I think why we are not experiencing is the question you're asking.
How you are experiencing, not why, how, or any like
I will tell you,
anybody can share it. I know
Swami has
there are
given
people experiencing it.
Swami has given a nice example for that. So you go to a candy store, sugar candy store. Everything is made of the same thing. There's no other additional flavors, just same candy. They will make different shapes, like horse, lion, dog, a bird, like that. Okay, and you go into just pure sugar in different forms. So children go to that candy store and they will say, "Oh, I want a tiger." Okay, as another one will say, "No, I want that bird." And they will eat, both of them will eat. Okay, two kids. And then they will argue, "No, the tiger tastes better than the bird."
Same such
The
thought.
fellow who likes the bird will say the bird definitely tastes. Okay. Then the next day when they come to the store, the fellow what the tiger wants tiger again. The other one fellow wants the bird because they're convinced that that is what tastes better. But the reality, the adult knows both are made of the same sugar. So for that person, whether it is this or that, no difference. The problem was that each of them attributed the taste which the children were attributing the taste to the shape, not to the ingredients. So because when the shape changes, they feel something is missing. The same way in this world, we are also tasting actually God in any pleasurable situation. But once you identify it with the form and the name which you see temporary, then we are troubled because we don't know that what we are tasting is actually God. So only that, so to get to that point, we have to remind us every time when we get some pleasure, that pleasure did not come from that object, sensory object, but from God. That is the abhyasa. So once we do that, then the forms will, after some time, will vanish. Whatever place, wherever it is, whatever the circumstances, we will be able to experience that. Which is what we discussed previous week. Dharmaraja, in the in the palace also, he was happy. In the forest also, he was happy. Because he was only experiencing God anywhere. And because of that, he was content and happy.
Okay.
Okay, so we had to always remind ourselves that what we are experiencing is from only God.
Oh, what you are experiencing only from God. That is the sentence I was, oh, that's okay.
We have to
I got
remind
the
ourselves
answer.
always, always. Then even some things looks like a problem also, you will still see God there.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes.
Thank you so much.
Swami has already given the answers, the previous chapter. Because Dharmaraja, because of that, he was eternally happy, eternally content.
Brother, can we say, I think, because as long as we still identify, I mean, we still have these feelings of like and dislike, that means we haven't reached it there. I mean, for us to have a testimonial, testing ourselves, if I'm still thinking, liking, not liking, that means I'm still not there yet.
Right,
The
brother?
moment I
Yeah, that's
stopped
good
thinking,
one. Yeah.
the
Yes.
moment I feel everything same, then I might have reached there.
Yes, yes, brother.
That's a good one.
The duality. Ragadvesha. No. So the reminders every time we have to say it's because of God only we are. That's why Swami says even before we eat also we should remind ourselves every time before we eat. It's God who is the food. He is the one who's eating. He is the one who's feeding. He is everything. That's constant reminder in any situation.
So, Sairam brothers, if that is the case, if we are, you know, if we want to have that stage, we shouldn't be having anything dislike in our dictionary, the individually. Everything, whether I like it or not, I should consider, or I should try to like those, whether I am thinking that until our last breath, maybe I am speaking on my behalf, we would be having likes and dislikes in little perspectives in the everyday life. So if Swami says everything, we have to look at as oneness, that is only the divine, the divinity in it. So that means that everything, there shouldn't be any dislike at all. Brother Prasad, bring it nicely. If we have likes and dislikes, then we haven't even moved an inch towards that destination. So maybe it's a gradual process, maybe several births to reach in there. Or they maybe if we have strong the will and everything, then we would be looking at, okay, even I don't like it, I have to train myself, or I have to uh, tell my the brain or the intellectual faculty that all depends on my look or my view. Still there are some sort of the good things in it. That's the way we have to practice it throughout throughout our life. Maybe I am thinking that that's the excellent point. I thought that everything is in our look or perspectives. There shouldn't be anything the dislike, but it's very hard in our worldly perspectives.
Thank you, sister. Yes, Brother Thasan.
Yes, Sairam, brother, I add to the point. We have to avoid the dislike. Dislike mean if a person is taking us in a wrong path, we have to dislike it. You are not supposed to go with like it. So we have to use the viveka and your words, thoughts, deeds are aligned properly. Then outcome, when you are using those three karana sukti, outcome is whatever good or bad, you have to like it or dislike. There's no dislike. That is my input too also, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, brother. Just to add to that, brother, the thing is, for example, we buy a banana, we get a banana, we don't eat the peel, we'll just remove it and discard it. It's not that we hate it. You don't have to hate something to realize that that is of not that's not to be consumed. So the thing is, even if you're discarding certain company, we can discard it without hating it, knowing that this is going to impede the progress to the divine. So I will just maybe put it in the waste dustbin, just the way you would put the peel of banana in the dustbin. It's not that we dislike it. We think this only belongs to the dustbin, and you put it and then we move on. So we don't have to have any hatred. Even in this world, if someone is not of conducive nature for the journey which we have, then we say, okay, this is not working out. This is not very useful. So I think this belongs to the dustbin. Just you put it and then you move on. So I think we can go about in life. That is just discriminating as to whether something is conducive for our spiritual progress or not. And we can do that without having a very negative feeling about that. I think that's the way I would approach, I would say.
Thank
Yes. Okay. So I think at no situation, see, Krishna is advising Arjuna to fight. The same Krishna is telling Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, don't have hatred for any living being, but fight. You're fighting only for dharma, establishing dharma, not because you dislike somebody or hate somebody. That should not be there, but you should fight to re-establish dharma. Just like a doctor, surgeon amputating a limb, because the limb has to be amputated for the health of the body. then that will be done. So I think they're like that.
Oh, brother, very nice. Thank you so much. Brother, one thing I just wanted to ask. So experiencing now it's now after the discussion, it's look like you shouldn't have any negative way of thinking. No dislike, nothing. So anybody shout even, you have to take it. Swami is shouting, now start try to understand kind of. Am I right, brother? It's the reasoning. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, that also Swami shouted. Something maybe I am taking to me as I'm looking on the point of view of I, body conscious. If I look at it in the point of view, then Swami trying to say something, you better understand. So in that situation also, I think you have to find the what is the went wrong. So you always point your fingers to you. Maybe that's the way we can go out of this negativity. Every time you point on you, then I think we can find the solution. I think. I don't know if that is right, but that's the way I think it. No. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, sister. There was, I'm reminded of a story of a devotee. I think Swami also has just talked about it. He was always seeing everything as Rama. Everyone who came to him as Rama. If somebody throws a stone, he'll say, Rama, why are you throwing stone? If somebody screams at him, says, Rama, why are you screaming at me? Okay. So he only saw everything as Rama doing something to him. So, there are different devotees who have lived like that and showed us the way to live. Sairam auntie. Auntie, you have something to say.
Yeah. Here, Swami, this Mata means here actually opinion about.
Thinking.
The conclusion may not be the correct this thing. You are not coming to a conclusion. I am expressing my opinion about something. So here, God is the highest source. That's the Bharatiya culture always says that God is the highest source of joy. That is the matham of Bharatiya culture. And they accept it as the dearest one. That opinion is very dearest to them. I think that's the way how it should be taken.
Yes, auntie.
So one more question, please.
Which point, which line, auntie, you're talking about?
This matam, they accept as abhimatam. Swami in Telugu.
The translation says conclusion. Yeah. Matam is like Krishna is also saying. Yeah. That's how I think. So many times in Gita, in my opinion,
Krishna himself says that, in my opinion.
Yes.
It is so humble. I'm the part
Matir Mama.
Yeah.
I think so.
I was referring to that.
Yeah.
I was referring to that matham and abhimatham.
Yeah. Krishna himself is not very conclusive.
Yeah, he's
Auntie, what did you, one more time, can you please repeat, Auntie, what is the thing?
The last sentence, Aruna.
Yeah, I saw that conclusion.
Here it is conclusion, but generally we speak about matam means my opinion about something.
Yeah.
I have got this opinion. You express it and you have your own way of expressing it. That is matam. Then, which is very dear to Bharatiyas also. That's abhimatam. But here conclusion may not be giving the proper meaning to that word. That's what I was saying.
But here this mata is used as a God is the highest source of joy.
Yeah.
This mata, that's mean the highest source. This is accepted as a abhimata is the dearest and most pleasurable. That's where they're saying, right? It's the mata here is what is this? God is the highest source of joy. Am I right?
But the translation conclusion, sister,
yeah,
does not convey the meaning of the word mata. That's all auntie is telling.
Oh.
The translation in the English, this mata within brackets, they put conclusion.
Oh, that conclusion, yeah, taking out that, the mata
Yes.
means the God is the highest source of joy.
No, my opinion. Matam means my opinion. Matam. Did you follow?
This thought, this thinking, you can
Yeah,
say
this thought,
this thinking.
which one they are referring here, please?
The above one.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Okay.
God is the highest source.
Yeah, God is the highest source.
Matam is also religion, belief, all that is also matam. You know, so whatever our mind thinks is matam.
Yeah.
Mati, you know, mati, whatever it thinks is, you believe, you think. We think, oh, this is, we say this is Swami. Swami is divine. So that is a matam which we have. You know, that is a belief, that's our opinion, whatever is it is. So that is the most dearest for all the Bharatiyas.
God is yeah.
And
Thank you.
Yes,
and it is sorry, if she says those loyal to Bharatiya culture, whatever the sect or faith which they claim as their special, would accept this axiom: the God is the highest source. This mata they accept as abhimata means, not just because somebody said it, but I feel myself. So it's not, I mean, if I'm following something, it's not, I'm not following because Swami said it, or the book, this my scripture told me, my religious, my Bible told me, all those, not like, but because I'm already experienced this myself, this is my gut feeling now. I mean, it's not something I learned from somewhere. I'm not following because somebody said it. I'm following because I experienced it. That's what maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yes. See, all of our thoughts, we have, to some extent, we are borrowed from the world. You know, in this world, when we were born, we were thoughtless. But, you know, a baby doesn't have any thought. Then people around will be feeding it with thoughts. Do this, do this.
Impulses comes, no.
Vasanas are there, sister.
Yeah.
Vasanas will make you, from vasanas, you choose what you want.
Yeah.
The vasanas allow you to choose. Yes. Of course, unless there's some natural knowledge, jnana.
Natural thing will come. That's what I'm trying to do.
That is, you are going to the Atman.
Brother, no, in the birth, you can see from babies, some of them are like, they are carrying with them. Some.
They have an opinion. Even babies have opinions.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Course.
Shall we go to the next one?
Next one.
Wholeness means wholeness. Wholeness implies one and not two or three. There cannot then be any place for the individual. When an individualized Atma or Jivi, the particularized differentiated self, has become full and whole, there is no possibility of his return to the consciousness of the objective world. Some doubts may arise in the minds of many, but this line of thought is not correct. When the individualized Jivi becomes fixed in the totality or samashti, the whole, he loses all ideas of distinction and is ever in the consciousness of the totality, the one that subsumes the many. He will then be aware that the reality of each is the reality of all, and that reality is the one indivisible Atma. He will not exhibit any consciousness of distinction between individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Telugu.
పరిపూర్ణ తత్వం అనగా అఖండ తత్వము కదా.
The principle of completeness or wholeness is that which is without any break.
అఖండ తత్వం. అఖండ తత్వము ఒకటే కానీ రెండు మూడు ఉండవు కదా.
The akhanda, the principle which doesn't have any break, is one, and it is not 2, 3. It will not be 3 or 2 or 3.
వ్యక్తిత్వము కూడా ఉండజాలదు కదా.
The individuality also will not be there. Isn't so?
ఒక జీవాత్మ పరిపూర్ణత్వమును అఖండమును అయినప్పుడు
One jiva, an individual, Atman, when it attains the fullness and that akhanda or continuousness.
Indivisible, can we take?
Indivisible. Thank you very much, Auntie.
Indivisible.
Thank you very much.
అయినప్పుడు దీనిని తిరిగి ప్రపంచమునకు తెలువ వీలుండదు కదా.
Then after that it will not return to the world
అని శంకించవచ్చు.
Thus people may even doubt.
ఇది సరి అయిన అభిప్రాయము కాదు.
This is not a good, this is not the correct opinion.
వ్యష్టి స్వరూపము గల జీవత్వము,
the individual, the jivatvam or the individualized principle, which is one single form of individual form.
జీవత్వ వ్యష్టి స్వరూపము గలది. జీవత్వ it has
individualized. Yeah, the jiva principle is an individualized form.
సమష్టి రూపము అందించినప్పుడు
when it attains the wholeness or samashti
రూప తనకు వ్యష్టి భేదము పోయి
it will lose the individual differentiation.
సమష్టి స్థితి కలుగును.
It will attain the wholeness.
అప్పుడు అన్నింటి యొక్క పదార్థము ఒక్కటే అని గ్రహించునే కానీ
at that point in time it will understand that the real substance of everything is one and one only.
వ్యష్టి భేదమును నిరూపించదు.
It will not differentiate individuals.
ఒక్కొక్క వస్తువునందలి దివ్యత్వము,
the divinity in each and every substance,
తనలోని ఆత్మతత్వమునే తెలుసుకొని
in one's own atma principle, knowing all of them,
మరింత ఆనందించునే కానీ
it will become more joyous and not
భేదమును వెలిబుచ్చదు.
It will not show any differentiation.
ఆ ఆనందము యొక్క కిరణములే,
the rays of that bliss
సర్వత్రా వ్యాపించి
will spread everywhere.
ఆ అనుభూతిని అందుకొందురు.
They will gain that experience.
మహారుషులు వారు అనుభవించిన దివ్య అనుభూతులను,
the great the rishis who have experienced the divinity which they have experienced.
I think she has not read.
Passed.
Sorry, yeah, we have passed.
Okay.
I think that Maharishulu should not be.
Yes,
Before that, we should stop. Sarvatra Vyapinchi Anubhutini Andukonduru. Is it that?
Yes, sir.
That's why I think should stop.
So Swami is telling, I think people may doubt that a person who has experienced the fullness, how can that person come back to the world? It's a question which people ask, and they also doubt that such a person cannot come back to the world. That's a doubt. Swami is saying that's not right. And then Swami goes on to explain. So I will stop here. Anyone would like to share any thought? Please go ahead.
So Saramangal, after Swami says that is not right, then he says when the jiva, when the vyashti becomes samashti, it loses all the individual differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the same thing? Or what's Swami saying there? That they won't be able to return to that individual state, right?
See, they will not come to the world of 5 elements. Okay, that's the thinking. People think, once you see, generally think, if you attain Jivan Mukti and all that, you will not be able to live in this world. That is the way people say, in 21 days, your body will drop dead and all that. Many people say, but Swami say, no. That is not very correct. They can still return to the world, but they will see in every individual the same principle which is within them. Okay, so they will see the individual, but they will also see that the real substance within each one is the same substance within one. That's the way I understand. So they will still live in the world. They can live in the world, no problem. They can deal in the world also, no problem. But they will be experiencing divinity in everything which they touch or see or observe. Okay, it is not that suddenly, they will, as someone said, they will go into some la land and, they will be, suddenly immersed. No, he is saying that person will also see everything as divine. They will live in this world with the understanding, with the experience that everything is divine. It's not that suddenly now just some pralaya has happened, everything is one big water. No, it is not. Swami is saying that's not right. Such thinking. You can come back to the prapancha. Okay, tirigi prapancham unaku teluppa veelu. Teluppa anti is, I think, they will see the five elements also. They won't be, it's not, but even when they see the five elements, they will see divinity within them also.
అఖండమును అయినప్పుడు దీనిని తిరిగి ప్రపంచమునకు తెలుప వీలుండదు కదా. It may not be necessary for them to reveal telupa.
Okay, telupa, okay.
వీలుండదు కదా. There's no necessity for them to announce the word. Here, individualized jiva is the Vesti. That we have to understand. When Vesti is fixed in the totality, that is samashti, he loses all his individuality. He is one with that fullness.
See, they will not be able to show this back to the people of the world.
They cannot be shown. Telupa veelundadu.
Okay, they will not be able to explain. Such doubt may be existing, but Swami, that is not the right opinion.
This line of thought is not correct.
Yes. Idi sariyena abhiprayamu kada.
No. Okay, Kalani, go.
No, Auntie, you can go.
No, I just wanted to read that line. Again, you can read.
I was just, so is Swami saying all those sentences starting from Paripurna Tattva, all of that is not correct, or just that?
No, it's the last sentence.
It's the last sentence.
Swami is saying Paripurnatva managa akanda tattvamuga kada. That means he's asking us, since it's so. Swami is talking as if we already know. Okay, he's saying, don't you think fullness means akanda tattvam, indivisible? Okay, akanda tattvam okate kani. That indivisible principle is only one, and it's not 2, 3, or many. Okay. Then Swami makes it say, Vyaktitvam kuda unde jaladu kada. Even individuality also should not exist. Oh, I see. Unde jaladu kada. That means you should not even see that you are an individual. ఒక జీవాత్మ పరిమూర్తం అఖండమును అయినప్పుడు దీన్ని తిరిగి ప్రపంచమునకు తెలిపే వీలు ఉండదు కదా.
It need not.
Oh, I see. I think, Kalyan, you may be right. All these statements are linked. Swami is not saying, see, some people's logic is, okay, that means it's complete whole. No division between one and another. That is only one. There can be 2, 3, or many. Then if individuality is vanished, it cannot exist. Then if that one, if it has attained that indivisibility, how can it come back to the five-fold world, five elemental world? This kind of doubts arise in people. And then idi sariyena abhiprayam. This is not, I think you are, see, I don't think Swami is denying every statement, but that line of thinking.
Okay.
I think that's the way I would say.
Yeah.
Auntie, I will answer that. Auntie, what do you think, Auntie?
Yeah. When he comes back to this world, he doesn't claim his individuality. Its individuality is already gone. Individuality is one with the totality. And now when he comes back to this world, he will not claim that I am an individual. That knowledge now he has, that he is one with the total. I think so, Saira.
Yeah, that is not correct. Then again, Swami explaining again. When the individual GV becomes the total, then he cannot go back. He will not go back.
No, he will, even though physically he may go.
Physically, but mentally, once the individuality is gone from the mind, the GV becomes the one total Atma, one. So there is no individuality there. They will see as one. That's why he's explaining again. That's my understanding on this. You want the one that subsume of many. He will not aware that reality of each reality of one indivisible Atma. It comes as one Atma. Everything we'll see as one.
That line, there is no possibility of his return to the consciousness of the objective world.
Yeah, he will not exhibit any conscious of distinction between individuals. That GV perspective is gone. Atma GV one individuality is gone when they identify themselves with all of them as one.
Has become full.
My understanding. Thank you, Sarah.
Full and whole.
Just to point out, some doubts, no, whatever stated above may be doubted by people.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. The above statements, people may have ani. No, that is the doubt of people. Some of the above is, Swami says, sankincha vachu. That means they are down in this line of thought, they are having some doubts. Okay. Then Swami is correcting that and saying,
Yes.
Swami is saying that person, even though that person has the individual form, Vyashti Swarupamula Gala Jiva Tattvamu, Samashti Rupamana Mantrichinappudu, when it attains that,
yeah,
Manakku Vyashti Bedamu poi. So it only removes the distinction.
Distinction.
The distinction is only gone. Okay. Poi samashti sthiti kalugunu. Appudu, then అన్నింటి యొక్క పదార్థము ఒకటే. He will see in everything, he sees the same substance. ఒకటి అని గ్రహించునే కానీ, he will understand in everything which he sees, he will see there's only one thing which is there. Vyashti bhedamu nirupinchi. He will not show
No differentiation.
No differentiation. Okay, so that's what. Yes, I will ask Brother Prasad. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, no. I was just trying to see how to explain in a different way. Like say, there are 3-4 people doing some experience, trying to do some experiencing this, and if one person crosses all the stages, whatever formula that he knows, he finishes everything and he feels, yes, I got it. I reached this state now. And if we come back and ask him, what was the difference between you and me before you started now, he won't be able to say any difference because he already reached that state. Then he cannot explain. Before it started, he felt before are different. Let me find my way. Once he found his way, he reached the end state. And if you ask me, okay, now you got the end state, tell me what was my mistake, why I didn't get there, he won't be able to say anything. I don't see any difference. You and I also look same for me. But that's the state he reached. I don't know if I'm explaining correctly.
Yeah, but he will say one thing, brother.
Yeah.
He will tell the other person, you have not realized that. That's the only difference. We are the same, but you have not realized.
Will he say that? Will he say that? Will he be able to say that? Will he be
Yes.
able to say that?
He
From
will
his
say
point
that.
of view?
See, Swami is saying that. Swami says, Prema Swarupalara. He says, you all also form of love.
Yeah.
But he will say, I know that I am Prema Swarupa, but you don't know that you are Prema Swarupa. So your journey is only that. He's not denying the fact that you are Prema Swarupa. He's only saying you are Prema Swarupa, but you have not realized that. That is the only difference. But that difference exists. So that is the only thing. All rishis are saying the same thing. He will tell somebody, go and figure it out. because you are also capable of figuring out which I figured out. So only thing is, it's a matter of time until you figure it out, then you will be reaching the same state as I. But you are also capable, but you are that. I think that's what Jhanis will say to anyone. Because if they think, because they are seeing each individual as something, because they are seeing divinity in that individual also, but that individual has not come to its fullness. I think that they will be able to say. Because if they don't say that, then no one will be helped. Then we will think, oh, we are all divine. See, many people say, we don't have to go to bhajans or anywhere because we know that now we are also God.
Yeah.
People say this, okay? But the thing is, next thing, they'll be upset, they will be angry, they'll be sad, all that will happen. Then how can they call themselves God? Yes, it is still there, but I don't think they have not realized. I think that's what I would say.
If he would say, if you ask what is the difference between you and me, he would say there is no difference. We're all same. But to explain, it's very difficult to explain. You experience it.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Then we will ask how to experience, and then that person has to.
No, if we say it on their face that you have not realized and I am realized, it will be too rude, I think, if we say that. We don't have to express that.
Auntie, if he says that means he didn't reach that level. He's just saying it.
Now, what that person who has realized that oneness with the samashti, he will see the same reality in others. That's all. And it is left to other person whether he wants to follow this path or not. We cannot say that, you know. I don't think we can say that to anyone.
No, okay.
Swami can say, of course, you are also God, I'm God, but you are not realized. That Swami can say.
Yeah.
See, actually, it has to be, it will be told only to a person who is keen in following. For example,
of course.
If a person is, any teacher you go, the teacher will say, you don't know, you are not playing it, you are not doing it right. They will teach. The child who is interested in learning will not be offended by it. They will say, please show me how to do it. I think that statement is only for a person who is genuine person who wants to also follow the path, that person can be shared. But on the street, we don't have to go and tell everyone, hey, you didn't.
That's only those keen persons who are really seekers, then we can advise them the way how I have realized, you also can realize. Yes. But in general, what I mean is, we cannot express that to others.
Okay, thank you.
Baba, every day we meet such things, when we advise others, they will come back and say, oh, you are a great sage. Don't advise.
We should not be affected by that, that's all. Okay.
They are not going to be affected. But still, that individuality, if it is there, a small portion of it, we'll feel.
Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yeah, Sairam, brother. So based on the discussion, what I understood is fullness means wholeness. That once the person is understood, Atma is the fullness. That is the only things spread everywhere. If you take that the electricity, some people see different bulbs, different power and everything. The person who understood he will look at the electricity. But we are because of most of us, because of the ajnana, uh, ajnana, we are not realizing that one. But we all same. So that's what we all studying. All the Vedas and bhajans and everything is like a soap. So because we all Satchit Anand, we have to remove those ajnana. Once you remove the ajnana, jnana is going to be there. Then we are not going back to the ajnana. So for an example, when we are taking the bath, we are putting soap, or when you're polishing a silver or brass, then after that polishing, then we remove the polish also. Then because the polishness not with the soap or the chemical things, it's already is there. Same thing, gold. When we melt we can see the shining. It's not because of the fire. So if we take the Mahabharata, we are trying to experience through our five senses. Even Arjuna, he wants to see the Viswarupa. Then Lord gave the vision to look at that one. So we cannot experience through our five senses that Atma everywhere as a oneness. So we have to get the grace from him. Then we will understand the fullness of the wholeness. Thank you, Brother Saira.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Sairam. Sairam, Sister Shivani, please go ahead.
Yeah, this discussion reminded me where Bhagawan said, I separated myself I separated myself from myself to love myself, right? Something I separated myself from myself to love. So it's like he's saying, okay, I've created this world, just realize and be in that world and just see how it looks when you and I are one. So I'm just kind of imagining that he's giving us that pleasure or that opportunity to go down. I've created the world for you, but don't forget you and I are one, but just be in the world. But anyway, the question is, when we said the person doesn't return to the consciousness of the objective world. So once you reach to that state of fullness or wholesome, so it's a permanent stage, it's a permanent kind of state that you are in, and then one doesn't need to do any sadhana to stay in that state. If I'm not mistaken, I think we read in Gita Vahini somewhere that you have to continuously doing the sadhana to stay to that stage. I may be wrong, but I'm just kind of asking. So it's a permanent state. When I reach there, there's no comeback. Means I don't need to do sadhana, or I am in that state and I can live forever.
So your question, sister, I will combine it with what Brother Dasan said. See, once you reach that state, you don't have to have bath. Because you will see the dirt also as Brahman, yourself also as Brahman.
So my question is, why I'm saying is, you are in the world. You know how we talk about the Maya. Maya is so strong. So it can play its role. It might be so powerful that it might, I don't know, I'm maybe overthinking that. I'm just thinking the Maya might play its own role and you might get again into, I know it's saying that you don't return to that, but I guess.
I think it's a good question, sister. Maybe should discuss this before we move on. So I think anyone who would like to answer this question.
Brother, rephrase the question, please.
So again, sister is asking, Shivani is asking the same thing, which is, once you come to know, you will not return back to normal state, okay? Normal worldly state, objective world. Your consciousness will not come back. Okay. So that means then we will stop doing sadhana. We will not do anything. We'll just sit in one place and things like that. We will not do any action. So will that be the case? I think that's her question. So I'm asking whether anyone has answer for that.
Brother, this is my, and oh no, I think about Sai Satis and other people can go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. My answer.
Yes, Sister Anand is going to attempt to answer that.
Sairam, brother, my question also it's along the same line, especially in the second passage. When the individualized GV becomes fixed in the totality of samasti, that particular thing, it's only for the Jivan Mukta or all in the ordinary individuals just like us. That is my first question. It alongs that one. And my understanding also in the previous, the different Vahinis or in the study circles, for example, when we die, our individual soul, the sparkle of the divine Atma, it's a little sparkle, it goes and merges with the Parabrahma. And once it's, they merged with that one, then it loses its individuality. And but somehow, we also studied with the karmic, the consequences. We also come back and, in the next birth, and we start again. But my question is here, this statement from Swami, when the individualized GV becomes fixed in the totality. So for ordinary people just like us, when we die, we wouldn't fixed in the totality. That is the Parabrahma. That's the reason we come back. Or whoever they go and fix in the totality, they wouldn't come back as the ordinary Jivan, but I agree with Swami, the those the very evolved the Jivan Mukta souls, they can come back, but they would lose all, they would lose their individuality, but they would their thought, word, and actions, everything, it would be in the totality concept. But my particular questions, brother, when we die, we would go and fix in the totality, or we would be in the middle somewhere, and that's the reason we come back. That's my question in here, in that, or whether this statement, it would be applicable to all of us. Thank you, Saira.
Okay, thank you, sister. Thank you. Sai Satish, please go ahead.
I think we had discussed this earlier as well, in saying that when people get to that state, before what they were doing, chopping wood and carrying water, even after, it remains the same. And I think to essence that, we can look at the lives of Gopikas. Swami would say, like how when we take a rubber stamp and we put that stamp on a paper, like how the paper and the stamp become inseparable. Like that was the heart of the Gopikas with Lord Krishna imprinted in it. So when that state happens, nothing changed in the Gopikas' lives. They were still doing their household chores as they were doing, but the way they were doing it was what now changed completely in their mental attitude, that everywhere they saw, I think today's discourse also, we were talking about it, where they saw all akarma in karma. Everything that they were doing, they were seeing Krishna in it. And so that state of realization only enhances purification of karma, because the karma is done with completely karma sannyasa, and they are established in just doing their duty or activity without looking for fruits in it from it, because they know that whatever is being done by the divine, for the divine, with the divine. And so they stay in that state. So in terms of activities being engaged in, will continue the same. Just the bent of mind, now that the mind itself has become like a amanaska kind of a state, it is suffused with love, and every action then becomes divine. Saira.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Yes, Brother Prasad.
Yes, I'm just trying to share my thoughts on the Shivani's. Let's say when somebody says, I reach the state, for example, and you are finding yourself as God, like Swami, that when sadhana is for those who thinks I'm not there, I need to be there, so I have my own steps to get there, so I'm following those steps. Once I get there, if I feel myself that God, like Swami, so Swami doesn't need to do the sadhana. Swami, for example, Swami is dharma. It doesn't need to follow dharma. Whatever he does is dharma. So I think if we become like that, that will become a part of a natural thing. So we don't really need to do anything specifically to be in the sadhana phase, kind of. I mean, it's very difficult to say. I mean, because we are moving from undivine to divine, so we may have that distinction and we have the fear, oh, if I don't do something, I'll go back again. But that fear itself will be gone if we really get there. If you have that fear, means you're not get there yet. We may be thinking yesterday, I get there, but today morning, because of the fear, I realized I'm not there yet. I have to start back again. I think, I don't know if I'm explaining correctly. It should be a natural process, but we shouldn't have that fear in our mind if we really get there. That's what I was trying to.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Brother Thasan.
Yes, Saram, brother. So most of the people fear what will happen when we die. First of all, we have to think. I told you the soul. We all atmas. So there's no difference between you and me. So if we use after using the soap, that one soap also we don't need that after that. We remove the soap because now we are seeing the Atma. Same thing, even Swami saying everyone has a prema swarupas because he is looking at everyone's that Atma. So, for an example, if Swami is gone now, so you think Swami is not there? No, he's everywhere. So we will look at as a oneness, even Prakriti. You'll see only on just only one item, one Atma principle. So even if we take the kapu, when we put the flame, eventually it merges with the air. So that's the way I look at that one, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Yes, Sister Aruna.
I am, brother.
Yes.
The thing is, first of all, I'm thinking once the GV realized the wholeness as one, you won't see a difference between others. So am I right or not? Because you are saying you can help. When the person don't see the differentiation, in the point of view of Atma, he won't see it. But do you think in the knowledge-wise he will see it? Because where it says the differentiation is not there, we have to understand clearly. Because you are saying, oh, you have not reached, okay, this is what you have to do, even to suggest where we are at the if you realize the fullness. That's one. And anything you reach to that level in, you will continue to do karma. And at the time, you will be fully surrendered to the Lord. You don't expect any fruit of your action. That's you are doing as whatever is good for everyone, that you will be doing everything with the conscious of the Lord. So, but I wanted to understand what point the person will say, okay, when there's no difference. That is the part I'm trying to understand. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Sairam. So I think everyone's, so there is, questions somewhat, I think, answered, but maybe I will also attempt. I think Sister Shivani's was the first question, or Sister Anandi's question, I don't know. I think Sister Shivani was the first one. See, the thing is, when we attain that oneness, we don't have to come back to the world and do sadhana. Okay, that's the question. The jnani, see, I think I will just quote what Krishna says. Krishna says, even those who have attained that state will still perform actions because what they do, the others follow. So the jnani will still perform the same sadhana so that they set the example for everyone else to follow, because they don't really need to do it for that sake, number one. Number two, the oneness is only attained at the Atmic consciousness level. Only when we know that we are the Atman, that is the only connecting thread of everyone in this world. Okay, so, but I don't think a jnani will not understand that in the worldly sense, the body has its own dharma, the mind has its own dharma, and they will function in this world. So they have to be cared for, or they have to be cared for with the sense of that that's the right thing to do, not with the sense of attachment, but this is what the worldly dharma is. So the jnanis, they will still perform their actions as if, they are Even though the greatest example is Janaka Maharaja. He was a king. He ruled the country. But did he see any difference between people? No. Because he knew everything is from the Atman. So because of that, the actions and sadhana is all done by the body and the mind. And the body and the mind have to continue to do what they have to do, because that is the ahnikam, what the Vedas have prescribed, Shastras have prescribed. So they will do. So the sadhana and all that belongs only to the mind and the body. But the jnani is not dependent on those actions for even retaining a state, because he has already reached that state. After it, we are coming back as Swami, coming again and again to serve. Sister Shilpa says, that's right, sister. The thing is, the creation will continue to be. There will be Atma which is embodied in the creation. But the thing is, individually, our individual consciousness has forgotten that we are the Atman. So Jnani is one who realizes that I am the Atman. Other things are also Atman. Other people are also Atman. But they may not identify it there, and they will know that. And that is, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of process. Different people at different levels of growth. They will know that, but they will still continue to do what they are. Because once you understand that you are the Atman, you will never again delude yourself that you are the body. But they will know that the body has its own path, its own ups and downs. It has to be cared for. Just natural. But they will not be suffering because of anything which the body undergoes, the mind undergoes. This is my understanding. So I think that I hope Sister Anand's question, whether they will come back to see the question of death. When I die, everyone talks about, we have, even last week we discussed so much. I think Sister Aruna later on had a discussion with me. See, everyone says when we die. As when you identify with the body, the death of the body will be seen as our death. The birth of a body will be seen as our birth. But one who is in the Atmic consciousness is never born, never dies. The day he dies is when his identification with the body dies. That's the day of death. The day the person's identification with the body dies, that identification has died. The Atma didn't die. Atma was not born. So, but when does that happen? That happens when the realization happens that we are the Atman. And after that point in time, there's no death. The body may die. Another body may be born. But the Atman will not be unaffected by whatever happens. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, everyone should be in a body. That's a reality. A person who's died will be definitely born again. The person who is born will always die. Okay, so but the body and the karma are related. But Atman is actually independent of the karma and the body. Until we realize that, it's a problem. So I think when we always say, oh, a person is realized when he comes back, there's no place to come back, because he has realized that he's the Atman. He has stopped thinking that he's the body. Okay, so I think that's my understanding. Of course, it's all theory only, so I will just leave it at that, Saira.
Thank you so much, brother. That's a big difference. Our body dies, our mind also dies, but the Atman never dies. But maybe it's the misconceptions from me that whenever the body dies, we always think I die, or maybe we have to keep on remembering that part. We never die, or we never take any births. It's a continuous process. Every day we they die and take birth. Next day also die and take birth. So maybe one day it would be like a little bit stronger. Maybe they sleep or something. Thank you so much, brother.
Sairam, Sai.
Sairam, uncle. So just to clarify, the one where Swami is saying this is the doubt of people, this is not the correct opinion. So that is just referring to the idea that they will not return to this prapancha.
They will not identify again with the prapancha. So see, they will be living in the prapancha, not because prapancha, you can't go away from the prapancha. Prapancha is also God. Okay. So, but the person will understand that I am the Atman and everyone is also Atman. So the person is where there's no, it's not that the person left from the prapancha to come back to prapancha. Prapancha will exist, always exist, and prapancha will continuously change. That will also be, but the person will not be affected by it because he knows that even the Panchaputas are Brahman, are also Atman. But temporary forms may change. The person is not deluded by that, but they will function in the world.
So the only thing that goes is the differentiation of individuals.
Identification with the body
Mm.
and identification with the Atman is permanent. We may practice, I am the Atman, I am Atman, but one day it becomes permanent. Once it becomes permanent, you will still be in the world. It's okay. Because whether you are in the world or outside the world doesn't matter. The identification with the Atman matters.
So when Swami is saying Vyashti Bedam,
Bedam is differentiation.
So
See, Vyashti, okay, if two bodies are there, the body is different. But the Vyashti who is inside is Atman. The Atman in me and the Atman in the other person, there are no differences. Before, when I think I am the body, I look at somebody else's body and say, oh, he is different, I am different. Because the identification is at the body level. But when you identify with the Atman, you will say, I and both of us are the same. We are just put on a different garb, that's all. I think that's my understanding. I hope that's why Swami is saying the question of returning is a very tricky question, He will not come back to identifying with the body. That much is certain. He will identify permanently with the Atman. But the bodies will be different. That's prapancha. Prapancha, there is always different changing forms. But he will not identify himself, delude that he is that, is my understanding, okay? So that the person will not be stuck about those differences so much. He'll be more conscious of the fact that the Atman in me is the Atman in the other person. Okay.
So that understanding, does it manifest differently? Because you have on the one hand, someone like Janaka who carried on his duties, but then my understanding is that the Gopikas did not really carry on their duties, that they wasted away, that they didn't even eat.
No.
They did their job.
They did the job. They milked the cow, they tend to their cow herd, everything, every duty they were taking care of the children, but all the while the thought was on Krishna.
If they sometimes forgot to do, Krishna did the job.
I thought in one discourse that Swami was saying how, like, after Krishna had left, like they were all just like wasting away, like not eating, and
yes.
And then in one, like that time of the Rasa Leela, I thought they dropped their babies and like dropped what they were doing and just ran. So that's just the way it manifested for them, or?
Very good question. I think Sai Satish is the best person to answer this because he's already spoke about the Gopikas. So, Sai Satish.
Sai Ramana, the question is, if you can rephrase it for me.
Okay, the question from Janaka, she understands. Janaka identified himself as the Atman and he still performed the kingly duties without any failing. But in the case of Gopikas, they seem to be dropping the ball. They sometimes were dropping the babies also when they thought Krishna. So they were neglecting their day-to-day duties. So can these two be considered the same is the question. Kalyani, is my rephrasing okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Sai Satish.
Yes, Sima, thank you for that. So I was just saying in the context in which Swami was putting that. So because Swami has also told, and this also we discussed about the Gopika by name Suguna, and how she saw Lord Krishna in the flame, and then she didn't realize that her hand was burning. And after that, the other gopikas who saw her hand burning also, and of course they pulled her hand out and all of that, but they were so rejoiced at the fact that she saw Krishna in that flame, and though her hand was burned, the whole this thing was about seeing Krishna. So in terms of course, the pining when Krishna left Vrindavan, that is to show the intensity of the love for the Lord. And so wherever they saw Krishna, and of course they didn't eat, and all of that thing may still be associated, but at no point in time, uh, I think it was something like they dropped it all and they continued to stay in that way. So again, the same thing. Even when Krishna left, um,
Body.
One is when he left to Mathura, we know the incidents where he asks for the dust of his feet, and nobody there is ready to give the dust of the feet. And when Uddhava comes to Vrindavan, every gopika removes the dust from her feet and gives. So when that Krishna leaving to Mathura is shown, it is more of the intensity of the separation, but that didn't mean that they didn't go back to their work after that. They did go back. They were essencing Lord Krishna in their life, in their activities, and whenever that call came from Krishna for whatever it was, they did that job as well. So I would say that it was more to show at that point in time a circumstantial framework of how, like, when you how how deeply you miss a dear one and how you stay in that state of a loss. But then after identifying, it's like everybody's journey kind of a thing, but essentially they saw Krishna everywhere in what they did. And that's how, whether we take Suguna's experience, or we take the dust of the feet of the devotee, all of that still says that they were established in Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Sai Satish. So, Kalyani, maybe I'll just compliment what Sai Satish said. See, the Gopikas never thought, okay, now I will not do this job and do. Okay. Whatever they did was just losing consciousness of who they are. They became mad. Okay. Matto bhavati. That's so the thing is, it was an involuntary thing for them. Okay. So it is not that, the baby is coming in my way, I had to go to Krishna. No. As soon as the Krishna thought came, everything dropped from them. So the thing is, they were so possessed by the devotion, that intensity was so much. That became a natural phenomena for them. But when they were otherwise, they were doing their job. Okay. These were incidents. But there's also a journey to that's a devotee's journey. But the thing is, they never thought, okay, now we are in Krishna consciousness. Now, we are not going to do any work. No, it was not like that. I hope that should not be. But there were times when they lost it. They lost themselves in the thought of Krishna. And things just vanished. So it was not an intentional thing. They never thought, okay, now we don't have to do any work. No, it is not. They never even thought that they are devotees. That is the greatness of Gopikas. So it was a natural phenomena of a devotee. But path of jnana and path of bhakti are slightly different in their progress, but both of them take one to the divine. That's my understanding. Sister Aruna had a hand up, so it's 4:30. Sister, I'm sorry I didn't.
No, brother, we'll catch up on next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Sai Ram, everyone. It's 4:30. We were so lost in the thought of that we forgot the time passing. Sorry. It was a very nice discussion. Hopefully, we all get to those, whatever Swami wants us to strive towards, and Swami is guiding us.
Navratri day, brother.
So very wonderful Navaratri for everyone.
Thank you.
The Mother Sai is teaching us, and she will take us forward. She will not drop us. So
we drop people.
We will continue tomorrow. Next week, we will close with Samasta Loka Sai Ram. Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om
Shanti.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Thank you.